You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. Yes, that's the definition of a good-looking person, looking for and finding the good. And you have done that by tuning in consciously and conscientiously to the Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore. I am deeply honored that you're making use of the most valuable asset that you have, your time, to tune in and listen to the Joy of Living, because you know that on this show, we discuss the three fundamentals of life, which enable you to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? And the reason you tuned in, of course, is because you care the most in the entire world about one person. And that's great, because when you tune in and you care about you and you make yourself the best you possible, you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony. You create more joy, happiness, peace, and love. And you are just going to be enhanced today with our amazing guest. It's transformational. This is not informational. This is transformational with this remarkable being named Bernardo. We'll be with him just a few minutes. But I just want to make mention again about the three fundamentals of life, because that's why you tuned in. The three fundamentals, of course, are number one, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. Now, in this case, it's a good number two. You go MAD. MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple. This show is now carried over the internet, of course. And if you ask anybody, what does www stand for? Invariably, they'll tell you it has to do with the internet. But in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for what a wonderful world. What is a word, right? WHATA. And of course, whenever you hear the opening bars of that song, What a Wonderful World, thank you, Louis Armstrong Satchmo, for enabling it to go viral and touch not just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. And when you hear the opening bars, what do you do right away? You smile. You can't help it. It's a wonderful, uplifting song. Now, smile is one of the most important words you could have integrate, utilize, and leverage in your life, because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I'm doing back and doing in-person experiences again. No mask, lots of hugging, upbeat energy. Recently did a show with 1,176 people in the audience. And I'm talking about seeing miracles in life every day and the story of Barry Shore, and people raising their hands saying, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours, but I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. You have water to drink, you have food to eat, you have a place to sleep, you have family, you have friends. Every single one of those is a miracle. And what's the proof? Simple as proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. If you're watching or listening to this, by definition, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full, to be exuberant in life. So imagine the following. Standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, that's me. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, that's me. And in the evening, being in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from the neck down, that's me. And it was not an automobile accident, not a spinal injury. It was a rare disease that took over my body that I never heard of the day before and rendered me what's called a quadriplegic. Nothing in my body moved. I can only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. 4 years, I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I still can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I've helped 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant, all because of this one word. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day. I got to tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago and she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile sounds the same. Why not? I asked her how come. She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of the mouth of an 8-year-old. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Now, create stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. We call it a shift in perspective. Now, I've been working with people for more than 4 decades, and I can tell you 97.2% of all people, when they talk about shift, they drop the F and the other stuff happens. So you're going to be effing careful with your Fs. Shift perspective, and what happens? You're causing rethinking. It's called neuro-linguistic programming, and you're going to hear a lot about that from our amazing guest, Bernardo. I want to give you now the 6 most important words, that can internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life. And they are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation really makes the difference in your life. Now, before we bring on Bernardo, I have to warn him and the new listeners. Thank God, over 350,000 people are listening right now, and thank you for bringing your family and friends. I really love it. It's humbling and it's just fabulous. And I want you to share this with 5 people. That's it. Just share those 5 people so we can touch 1.5 million people around the world. And the 4-letter words, of course, that we use because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, power, and pleasant are love, life, hope, free, gift, pray, play, swim. And I use the 4-letter FU word because it's fun and the shock value. 4-letter FU word that we use is fun. Fun, that's right. F-U, capital N. Now, I know people are raising their hands and say, hey, Barry, sure. Fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world. The world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, you see your family and friends. I want you to point your finger, this big smile in your face, twinkle in your eye, and say, F-U, everybody. But remember to add capital N, capital N. Say, where'd you get that? I said, I listened to Barry Shore, and he wants to teach the world to F-U. Capital N, capital N. So I'm going to bring on now one of the most kind, loving, giving people that exist on the planet today. Now, by the way, I want to tell you, KIND is a great acronym that stands for Keep Inspiring Noble Deeds. I can't think of anybody that inspires noble deeds more than a wonderful, amazing Bernardo Moya. Bernardo, please say hello to 360,000 plus people around the world.
Well, hello, everyone, and Barry, thank you so much. I loved your intro, and I love the FU. I loved all your words, everything you said. So I'm very humble, blessed, and honored to be here. Thank you so much for your inspiring message.
You're entirely welcome. When was the last time somebody said FU to you and you laughed?
I'm going to use that. I'll be sharing that myself, I promise.
Thank you. Yes, please do. Please share. So everybody knows that in this show, it's all about you becoming the best you. And there is no greater expositor in the world at the moment than talking about the best you than Bernardo Moya. So let's do the following. If I told everybody your background and your CV, it would take the rest of the show. So I'm just going to mention 2 data points. Number 1, Bernardo is the foremost expert in neuro-linguistic programming. Now, on the simplest level, NLP is allowing you to have rethinking. The second thing is that when Bernardo does a experience, some people call it a summit or a show, I call it an experience, he has plus minus 100,000 people tuning in to that experience. We'll talk about a couple of them that are coming up. One is coming up just soon in Los Angeles, but he does them around the world. And again, because of the genius of the internet, he can touch hundreds of thousands of people. So let's just jump right in, Bernardo, and talk about the essence of what you do, which is called 3 words: the best you. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it is exactly kind of what you said at the beginning, Barry. It's our commitment and our obligation, to become the best you. I think I remember before I came up with the brand, it was just one of those phrases that people use very frequently. Becoming the best version of yourself. Well, what does it mean? And it's a process, and it's something that I do believe that we're obliged to do. I think we were here for a reason. I believe also that we have to step up and we have to find ways for us to elevate consciousness, but becoming the best you is just part of what we need to do, because as you quite rightly pointed out, we're blessed. Every day is a miracle. And my job, if any, is just to simply present ideas and present people for all of us to become a better humans. Because again, as you quite rightly pointed out, I just love the script. There's so many things that I share myself. It's the whole idea that if you become a better person, then everyone around you will become better, and so will the community, and so on. So it's that ripple effect of what it means to become the best you. It just has a phenomenal impact in the world.
So let's talk about, let's say, the expo, what I call the experience. What happens at a situation like that? In other words, you're right. It is a common phrase, but I think what you've done so elegantly and eloquently is to raise it up so that instead of the words coming out of one's mouth, they now have deeper meaning and become transformative for people. See, there's a lot of information on the internet. Let's be blunt. What I call IO, information overload. What you're about is IT, information that transforms. So let's talk about transformation.
Yes, it's. I think part of that is what is becoming the best you. How can we become better humans? Well, we do that by elevating our consciousness, and elevating consciousness. For some people, it might seem like too much of a complex word, but it's very simple. Elevating consciousness means becoming aware of your surroundings, becoming aware of what's happening. Awareness is a big word in NLP. Becoming aware of my voice, my internal dialogue, my state. Becoming aware of what's happening is very, very important. So by becoming aware, we are elevating our consciousness. So by educating, by learning, by applying, by becoming a better version of yourself, you are simply contributing towards elevating consciousness. But what is really important to understand is that the opposite of that is being ignorant, or choosing to ignore the facts of what is happening around the world and how lucky we are. Again, with NLP or in life in general, we can reframe anything and everything, whatever situation we're in at this point right now, whatever we might find challenging and difficult. Well, billions of people around the world, and we've just exceeded the 8 billion mark now, billions of people around the world would probably give up whatever they have instantly, and they probably have nothing, to have exactly what you have, what we all have. So there's many reasons and many ways of how we can become better humans, but it all starts with gratitude. So I think, becoming grateful for who we are, where we are, but most importantly, in finding ways of elevating consciousness to dealing with all the issues that the planet has, that the world, needs. And that's where I always talk about that the world needs leaders. We need to step up. We need to step up when people, when people hate, we need to love. When people don't care, we need to show that we do care. So it really is looking into those ways of becoming a better human. So that's what I do, and if anything, I'm simply a conduit that makes that happen.
Well, I was glad you said that. So this is so wonderful. I call Bernardo a cog. Now, when people think of a cog, you think of a machine, a large machine, and a cog is a small piece in a machine. Big deal. Well, it is a big deal, because without that cog, without you being the best you, the machine doesn't work. But you just said it. A cog stands for channel of goodness. That's what you are, a conduit of goodness or a child of God. Because what you mentioned beautifully is that each being becomes a leader. And by definition, that creates that enormous ripple effect, which turns into a stream, which turns into a river, which can become a tsunami of goodness. I love how you pointed out, and I want people to understand, when Bernardo used the word ignorant, he didn't say people are stupid. On the contrary, people are very smart. But even smart people oftentimes are ignorant. Ignorant just means being unaware or not being aware. So one of the things that Bernardo does so eloquently and elegantly at his conferences and such is to enable people to shift that perspective and become aware. And it happens in a moment. Is that right, Bernardo? Sometimes it happens in a moment.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of the times, you know, I'm a great massive believer in serendipity, or, you know, every single thing that happens to us happens for a reason. A lot of people that feel down, that feel, you know, kind of they're being oppressed or they're under stress or they're in a dark place, you know, it's because they don't really realize that whatever is happening, God, a higher spirit, the universe, is throwing these challenges at you because you're capable of dealing with it, because you have the shoulders to deal with it. But it's also, most importantly, teaching you a lesson. And it's teaching you and it's giving you the opportunity for you to learn from it. So if we start looking at things that are happening to us instead of happening, you know, or happening for us instead of to us, we really start kind of opening our mind, you know. And for me, if I've learned anything in these years is connecting those dots. We have met for a reason. We met, I think it was on JV Mastermind. And so there was a reason why I was there and you were there that day, and we decided to connect. And this message, well, hopefully will help someone at some point. So it's understanding that. And by doing that, that's exactly what we can do is really listen to those messages and try to connect why things are happening. So I've experienced this with the Expo many times. Someone might come for a specific reason because they want to listen to one speaker, but all of a sudden they find themselves attracted to something else and they find themselves sitting in that room. And all of a sudden, you know, something happens, a book, an article, something. Nothing happens by chance. If someone talks to you about a book, and I always share the story, Barry, that the universe, God or whatever, they don't have Instagram, WhatsApp or Messenger. They don't. But they're not interested in that kind of technology. They communicate to you via messages. How many times have we been around, all of a sudden a word keeps popping up or a color of a car keeps popping? It happens for a reason. So it's down to us to listen. Why is that happening? So I've experienced that many times. You know, I don't know, I've got so many stories of people coming in, as I said, one wanting to sit in one room, then they sit in another, and all of a sudden they're inspired, they've been coached by this person, and then all of a sudden they've changed their lives. Or I don't know, we do, for example, phobia cures at the Expo as well, and we've cured snakes, and we, you know, so the first year people were there scared, oh my God, snakes, I'm never going to do that. And then 2 minutes later they're stroking that snake, and 3 years later they're still coming to stroke the snake. I'm coming back to say hello, you know. So kind of like you just never know where these opportunities are. So I've experienced it, and it's beautiful.
I love speaking with and learning from and being with Bernardo. I'm going to share with you something. There's a great line that I've used in several of my books. Serendipity is the pathway to joy. Because everybody experiences serendipity, everybody. And when all I find is it clicks and you have joy. Now, joy is a wonderful acronym, Bernardo, that stands for Journey of You.
Love it.
Joy is Journey of You, right?
Love it.
And I just love this image that you just gave us about the snakes. Yeah. Because what you do with a snake, just by everybody can hear the word, what you do with snakes is gain a visceral response from people. Now, you and I just shared something wonderful. We both agree that choice, not chance, determines your destiny, right? How you respond in any given situation will determine where you go. So when you unleash snakes and the visceral reaction is, But then a response comes along that says, wait a minute, that's interesting. And to now approach it, touch it, and I'm feeling a snake right now because it is quite remarkable, by the way. I've worked with a lot of snake skins over the years. It's so funny you mentioned, because I was actually involved with a company that used the shedding of snakes to use that skin to make purses and bags and all kinds of things, but it was done without killing the snake. It was the shedding of the snake. But they have a certain feel, don't they? People like snakeskin boots. But what you did is you created the awareness experience because people were able to shift where they were. I love it. I'm going to ask you, please. First, I'm going to tell the quote that I like from you a lot. And I think it resonates because it's what you're all about. And that is that the price of freedom, which is what we just discussed, is always less than the pain of regret. So using that as our baseline, the price of freedom is always less than the pain of regret. Tell us something more about, let's say, an expo that's coming up and what happens there in addition to snakes.
Yeah, well, the snakes is all an idea around the limiting belief that we have. Because sometimes those people that have those fears, all it is, it's a limiting belief. They believe that they can't achieve or do certain things. And it's by overcoming that limiting belief that all of a sudden opportunities rise. And I love this. This is from Richard Bandler, so myself, from the co-creator of NLP. He always used to ask people when someone overcame a limiting belief, what else could you be wrong about? And
Wait a minute. I just love what you just did. For those of you who are watching, if you're only listening, you didn't get it. For those of you who are watching, Bernardo just leaned in and he said, and what else could you do with that? I mean, that was great.
Yeah, because that is such a powerful thing. If you were wrong about the fact that you had this limiting belief about snakes or phobias, or you couldn't fly, or you can't achieve this, or I can't do that, it's a limiting belief. And by overcoming that limiting belief, and you start asking yourself is kind of, what else could I be wrong about? All of a sudden it starts opening these amazing opportunities. And one of my other quotes, and I come back to about what you suggested, is that the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. I
want you please to repeat this, Bernardo, because this is a pivotal moment. Please repeat that about the questions you ask yourself.
Yeah, the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. If, many people wake up in the morning and they look at themselves in the mirror and they say, oh my God, how ugly am I today? Or, oh my God, why do I look so fat? So you see, your brain, your mind is starting to give you 1,246 reasons why you're fat, why you don't look great. But all of a sudden, if you look at yourself and you say, oh my God, how amazing do I look today? Check me out. So kind of like, all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Well, I'm looking good, aren't I? But it's the same with life, kind of, what else can I do? How can I make a difference? What have I not done yet? What do I believe is not possible? What am I capable of doing? How can I change the world? How can I become a better human? These are empowering questions. So I believe that the quality of our life depends on that, on the quality of the questions we ask yourself. And a lot of the times, with what you were just sharing, is the price of regret is the price of freedom is higher than the price of regret. Is around this idea is that we will all end. You were sharing about the fact that 1 million people weren't so lucky to be alive here today. Well, what will happen if 5 years from now, 3 years from now, you didn't achieve your dreams, you didn't write your book, you didn't travel around the world? What will happen then? It's a very high price to pay. And one reality, another quote that I normally share is, one reality is our mortality. So for me, that's been a reality. I realize that I'm mortal. And because I'm mortal, there's things that I have to do. And when I put an event like the Best You Expo together, I always ask myself, why am I doing this? Now, I know that's not an empowering question. I understand and appreciate that. But it's the pressure that I put myself under. But the reason I do it is because I love it. Because I love putting myself under this pressure and this position of being able to present ideas. I love doing it because it's difficult and it's challenging. And because guess what? No one else is doing it. So because no one else is doing it, I'm going to do it. And if I fail in the process, guess what? It's just feedback. It's just part of life. Life will continue. It doesn't matter. If people don't decide to show up at the Best You Expo, I'll still be there. And 150 speakers will still be there, wanting to change the world and wanting to empower others. That's what I believe in. Go for it. Do it.
Do it. Let's look at love for a couple of moments.
F you, everyone. If you don't show up.
F you, capital N, capital N. You got to add that, or people say, "What are you talking about?" You mentioned about why do you do this? And by the way, always a great question to ask oneself, right? Why am I doing this? Well, when you ask the why, you can get an answer. But Bernardo gave us the answer. He loves it. He loves the challenge. By the way, love is a great acronym, Bernardo, that stands for living on vibrant energy.
I love all your acronyms. I love them all. I need them all. Barry,
Well,
thank you. That's amazing.
God willing, when we meet in person again, you will have a copy of my newest book, which is The Pocket Full of Acronyms. Where we take, it's called the Joy Vocabulary. We take everyday words and we find the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant essence of them. And so now, like you just said, you're looking in the mirror and say, wow. Wow stands for words of wonder, words of wisdom. When you look in the mirror and say, wow, and then the reticular activator and your prefrontal cortex kick in, and guess what happens? You're pumping with joy. But I love it. And no one else is doing it. See, this is so fascinating. Bernardo is having an experience in Los Angeles. I think it's the 3rd of March to the 7th of March. Is that correct?
3rd to the 5th at the LA convention.
The 5th. Okay. Yeah. So if you show up on the 6th or 7th and say, hey, Barry Shaw said I should show up, well, the circus will already have moved on. But,
yes, Bernardo will be resting somewhere in some bed somewhere. So.
Right. But March 3, 4, and 5, if you are within 6,000 miles of Los Angeles, you should be there. And I don't know, Bernardo, is it going to be streamed also? Is that possible? Is only physical reality at the moment?
We are doing a streaming. There's aspects of the event that we do stream. We can't stream everything because we've got 9 different stages, but we do record everything. We do record everything, and all those talks then go onto an app. We've got an app, the Best You TV app, which is on Roku, Apple, Amazon, and Google. So those recordings will be up there. But yes, there are possibilities for people. And we're looking to see if we can break record. Someone gave me a challenge yesterday, Barry. Someone said, the world record for attendees online is only 22,000. I said, interesting. Can we break that record? Can we get 40,000 people to watch it online? So we're up for it.
Wait a minute. I want people to understand just what happened right now. So Bernardo and I, we're talking, we're loving, we're really in love mode right now. And he's saying, he asked the question, well, what's the largest number? It's 22,000. Wow. Well, wait a minute. Can we break that at 40,000? That is the essence of understanding that there are no boundaries for you. You choose how to live your life. When you shift from chance into choose, things happen. So let's take a few minutes just, we might do it on the other side of the break, but let's begin now. You said there are 9 stages. That means you're going to have what? You said 130, 140 speakers?
Yes, correct. It's 9 different stages. We have stages for everyone, because it is the Best You. Personal, professional development means many different things for many different people. It might mean love, overcoming love, looking for a partner, getting rid of a narcissist. It might mean how to become a better coach. So we've got a love and consciousness room. We've got the best for business, passion to profit, empowering women, always very successful. I've got to say we have at least 60%, 70% of our speakers are women. We've got the masters, mentors, and influencers. We've got the inspiration zone where we teach you how to dance tango, or you can learn a little bit martial arts. We've got all sorts of things going on in all these different stages. So it's all themed differently. So anyone and everyone can feel part of the event or can feel integrated. And I just wanted to add there something quickly. I remember I did my first event, Barry, And we just finished the event. It was hard. It was tough. It was our first one, so it was very challenging. We had 3,000 attendees, and I remember I was sitting down having my gin and tonic just after the event, or my second one after the event on the Sunday night, and I was speaking to my event manager, and obviously I was already planning next year. I said, next year we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I remember she just kind of lost it, because obviously it was just a hard 3 days of work and the build up to the event. And she says, Bernardo, you have to be realistic. And I just remember saying to her, came out from my heart, I said, we all choose our own reality, and we all choose what is achievable or not. And as far as I'm concerned, this is not enough. And every event that I've done, even my last one, we had 14,000 people, it's not enough. So we all set our expectations and what is realistic or unrealistic.
Okay, on that note, hold that note, Bernardo, because that's a high note, everybody. Buckle up. There's more Bernardo coming back. We have sponsors that love the show. We urge you to patronize our sponsors. We'll be right back. Don't go away. There's more Bernardo, and we're just beginning with this 3-stage rocket, everybody. Get ready for blast off. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Imagine the kind of place you would want to shop for your favorite fur baby pet. HonestPets.co. Well, you found it. HonestPets.co, not .com, .co. This is your go-to spot for the best, the cleanest pet treats that exist anywhere on the planet. All of the brands go through a rigorous review to make sure they meet the high standards of cleanliness, health benefits, and naturalness. This site was started by a husband and wife team, and it's veteran-owned, and that care about pets, especially dogs and cats, and coming soon, bird treats. These are very nice young people who really care about making a difference, because a portion of proceeds go to support veteran organizations with a focus on service dogs. This is the place where you want to go. You want to tell your friends this has the finest, yummiest, freshest, all-natural treats and stuff for your fur baby. So go there, honestpets.co. honestpets.co. Do it now. Opportunity. What an opportunity. I'm going to use 2 4-letter words right now. Free gift. Free gift. Yes, you can have a copy of my best-selling book, The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy, the ebook version, for absolutely free. All you have to do is send an email to me, Barry, Barry, at barryshore.com, and in the heading, the subject line, just write free gift. It's as easy as that. This is a life-changing, life-enhancing opportunity. Barry at barryshore.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Free gift. Do it now. Take the action. Make it happen right now. Best wishes. Bye. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. A 2-legged being. His name is Bernardo Moya, and he's here sharing with us this whole idea, not just an idea, the reality that you choose your reality. I want to just jump in on 2 things, if I may, wonderful Bernardo. The word challenge, because you've used it a number of times, and that really is what life is about. Let's be blunt, right? There are challenges in life. The genius of challenge is the following. Do you happen to have a pen and paper or a pencil and paper in front of you?
I do believe so, yes.
Okay, so I'd like you to write down the word challenge. And when I ask Bernardo to write the word challenge, I'm asking hundreds of thousands of people to write down the word challenge, unless, of course, you're driving right now and listening. But if you're not and you're watching, listening, write the word challenge, because we're going to have a lot of fun with this. You're going to really enjoy this. This is going to be an FU moment. So, Bernardo, you wrote down the word challenge, right?
I did. Indeed.
Okay, CHALLENGE. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay. So I'd like you to underline the first 3 letters of the word challenge.
Okay.
And now underline the last 3 letters of the word challenge.
Yep.
And what word do you have?
Change.
Change. Now, in business, we have a great line. Change is great. You go first. Now look at this word challenge. Look at the middle three letters. What are they?
Len.
LLE, correct?
The three letters, yes, LLE.
LLE. And LLE stands for let love embrace change. When you let love embrace change, then change moves from obligation to opportunity. Am I right?
You are.
And that's what Bernardo does. I want you to speak more about the events, and then I want to talk about your newest book, because I am so in love with the title, and I want you to speak about it. But right now, let's continue with the events, being the experience, because I love that. On this, after your second gin and tonic, he said it, I didn't. And the other person said, well, gee, Bernardo, be realistic. And he said, okay, I choose my reality.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So tell us what happened after that.
Well, it's this story, Barry. So kind of when I came up with, I was running events. I was promoting Dr. Richard Bandler in London already. So I was used to doing events, but it was 250 people, 300 people. And although we were changing lives because he was a licensed practitioner and a lot of people were, I saw the impact that NLP training has and had on people over the years. For me, it wasn't enough. And that was the whole idea of putting the best you expo. Well, let's create this. No one had ever created a personal development event. And I share this story that the first day I went out to the event, this event that we put in London, and I went to the door expecting hundreds or hopefully thousands of people waiting to come in. And I remember there was 10, and out of the 10, 6 were in registration. So they all worked for me. So technically there was only 4 customers. I'm not a massive drinker, but obviously in moments of stress, I do love a glass of wine or gin and tonic. I thought, oh my God, this is too early to drink. I can't be doing this.
Wait a minute. I love that. I want one, but gee, it's only 10 in the morning.
It's only 10 in the morning. I'm not an alcoholic. I can't. So anyway, but the bottom line is like over the 3 days, we had 3,000 people attend. And the event grew, and every time I did one, I always said, I'm never doing it again. I continued to do that. And here I am again. And I remember the last one, which was in London in 2019. I went to the door because we were running a little bit late for registration. And I always love engaging, connecting with people, putting the energy out there and, hey, we're ready, just bear with us. And just saying hi to everyone. And I would go to the door and I remember so I went to the door and I couldn't see the end of the queue. I thought, oh my God. So I went to the other side of the road. And the queue went round the building. There was at least 2,500 people wanting to come in. And Barry, I panicked. Instead of like doing a photograph or a video, I just panicked. Oh my God, there's so many people here. So I had to run in and just say, come on, guys, we've got thousands of people waiting. So, it's one of those things, you build it and they will come. But it's just been beautiful. It's been beautiful to put this event together with so much love. And look, I can't do it without the speakers, the sponsors, and the exhibitors that support us and believe in the same vision that we have. But for me, in my mind from the beginning, this is an event that has to be attended by hundreds of thousands of people live and has to be seen by millions of people around the world. And that's the whole idea of streaming, and that's the whole idea of filming it. That's the whole idea of putting it on TV, because we really want to get it to millions of people. There's so much, I know there's a lot of information, but there's so many great people doing some fantastic work, and it needs to be shared. And people around the world, independent of what their resources are, their financial, commitments or needs are, I want to make it as accessible as possible. So that's the vision, the dream of the Best You and the Best You Expo, and to run them around the world. We want to run them around the world.
And the beauty of what you're hearing, and if you're able to see, is that Bernardo is living the vision. See, this is the genius of life. When you have a vision, it can't be kept under the pillow or in a glass of gin and tonic. When the vision calls you, you must answer the call. And that's what Bernardo is doing. But as he said, interestingly, and it's critical to understand this can't be done without a team, supporters, sponsors, people who are involved in this whole process. And I share with you, wonderful Bernardo, the word team we have elevated. Team really stands for together, everyone achieves Miracles, not more, miracles. And the miracle of Bernardo and what he's doing is that he is out there touching lives. The ability to be touched by something big, beautiful. Big stands for believing, giving. That's what you're doing. Like you said, you're a conduit. I call you a cog, a channel of goodness, a child of God. Speaking about that, let's talk about the evolution of the human condition. And that is the segue for your book. Tell us about why the title and why the book.
In this process of, like many and millions of people around the world, the pandemic obviously affected us too, and I'm talking me personally, but also the brand. We were doing live events, so 95% of our business and volume and turnover and whatever we were involved in disappeared overnight. And as I said, like many people, and I'm blessed that that's the only thing that's happened to me. A lot of other people, we've lost them along the way, and I've had a lot more difficult challenges than I had. But I separated from a marriage of 32 years. I then lost my mom. I fell in love. I fell out of love. So in this process of becoming the best you, Bernardo becoming the best you, because I have this, I have this sense of responsibility. You mentioned congruency. Congruency is also a really important word for me, to me, and I know it also in NLP. I think being congruent as a human is really, really important. It's if anything, it's our complete identity, and it identifies who we are as a human being and our values. So you see, I am who you see, and I'm pretty straightforward. I'm a man. I'm Spanish. I love certain things. I'm passionate. But also I'm a man, and as a man I've made mistakes, and I've kind of, there's a lot of things that I weren't proud of, but because I was the founder of The Best You, I couldn't be incongruent with my message. I couldn't be a miserable, unhappy person that doesn't believe that the world can change. I can't be the founder of The Best You. If not, I would have had to be the founder of this, the shit you, or whatever the crap you, whatever you call it. So with that sense of responsibility, I really wanted to I started tapping into my humanity, into finding ways of me elevating my consciousness and becoming a better human. And if anything, kind of something that I've enjoyed doing for quite a few years, but especially these last few years, is tapping into that higher consciousness of who I am as a human, because I believe I'm an older soul. I do believe I have a lot more knowledge, and I have a lot more to give. I am a conduit, and I provide a platform to other speakers, but Bernardo does have a message, which sometimes is a little bit left behind because of that responsibility I have of putting these events together. So the book, which is called A Man Evolving, is confessions about love, passion, and broken hearts, is all about talking and expressing my feelings, the mistakes I've made as a man, the mistakes I made in my marriage, the loss of my mom, falling in love, falling out of love, broken hearts. So I cover a lot in this book, and it's a book where I really started exploring and tapping into my vulnerability, and the fact and the idea of being able to express freely what I feel without the fear of being judged or being labeled in any way, And knowing that, for example, in the UK, male suicide is one of the biggest killers, and it's one of the biggest killers in the world, and the fear that a lot of men have to express their feelings, that I thought I again had that responsibility as who I am, the founder of The Best You, as Bernardo, as an author, and as a man, to express my feelings and my deepest feelings. And so, kind of one of the things I said, becoming vulnerable was one of the most beautiful things. It's like an onion. The more layers you open, the sweeter it becomes. And I found my reality in my vulnerability, So it's a book that was very tough to write because, it's very raw. but I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. I wrote it in Spanish and English at the same time because I'm bilingual, Barry. I have these thoughts coming in Spanish. Sometimes they come in English. So kind of like, I was writing the book in both languages at the same time. So I'm very proud of Sal.
It's so wonderful how you say that, by the way, in that essence of, I call, for want of a better term, it's the right brain, left brain. I don't know which is which, but your Spanish and then your English, and they incongruence and yet apart. And everybody knows that Spanish is one of the great romance languages. I mean, we use that as an interesting point. Romance comes from the point that it's a Roman language, but we use romance in the sense of what you're talking about right now in the book. It's about love, open-heartedness, passion, and using your vulnerability to evolve even greater in terms of your reality. That's absolutely stunning, because you're right. Male suicide is it's not an epidemic, but it does affect not just the person who took their life, but all the ripples that move out from there. And we need to be able to help men in particular, by the way, men in particular in this particular situation, because we had for too many centuries been told that you can't expose your inner being. But I love when you say about the best you. You can't be the best you and have an inside that is in turmoil, and then that's not congruence. That's not frequency. That's not you. Because the best you, and that's what this show is all about, by the way. Everybody, I urge people to say that this show is not about Bernardo, great guy that he is, or Barry Shore, yeah, that fun guy, the bastard of joy. This is about you, you, becoming the best you possible. If there's a nugget or two that you can use from here and really allow yourself to grow into the next part, well, that's what this is about. That's why Bernardo is investing his time, and I really appreciate you making the time to do this, and why we're sharing. By the way, SHARE is a great acronym. You're going to love this. SHARE stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. You love that?
You have them all. I love them all, Barry. I mean, I can't wait to have your book. I can't wait.
You're welcome, and I look forward to getting it to you. So it's truly wondrous and remarkable. And again, we remark upon it because the reason people tune in around the world, and I'm totally, completely humbled by it, in the hundreds of thousands, is because they know the show is about what I call WII-FM, the most listened to radio frequency in the world. WII-FM, Bernardo, is what's in it for me.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, what's in it for me is, I'll take one point that you mentioned. When you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, you say, wow, wow, words of wisdom, words of wonder, in the sense of me, I'm a me. I'll give you one that I think you're going to like, because I want you to speak about it for a bit. So I was taught, now it's more than 50 years ago, over half a century. People sometimes listen and say, Barry, sure, you're 74 chronologically? Yes, okay. But I'm 8. My SOW is 8. You know what SOW is, right?
No.
Sense of wonder. I'm an 8-year-old, right? You got to be between 6 and 9. You get in double digits, already gone. You got to be, okay. The point is that you really get up in the morning and you say, wow, me. So I was taught by this amazing woman about energy, and she was discussing energy. Now, I'm 20 years old, 22 years old, and what she said was interesting, but it sort of went, over my head, through my head, and goodbye. But it was fascinating. But then she taught me about, she says, you know who you are, Barry? You're a me. What? I said, yeah. Energy is there to be manipulated. Now, manipulation has a bad connotation, something like snake. But when you understand what manipulating energy in the positive sense is, you're creating that energy field that can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. When your energy is manipulated for positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant things, you get Bernardo. He is the essence of me. And that's what this is all about. You becoming the best you means me. Manipulating your energy for good. So we only have a few more minutes, Bernardo. I'd like you to speak on that point for a minute or two about what the experience is at the expo in the sense of manipulating energy for the good.
Well, it's funny because it's one of the I love the word energy, and I'm a great believer in energy, and obviously kind of like, you know, hey, we all know, and I'm sure a lot of us have those friends that kind of like they walk into the room and the light turns off because it's dark energy. But I love being one of those that, you know, comes and turns it. I always used to say to my team, Barry, I said, guys, you got to turn it on. You know, kind of, it's like you just have to turn it on. Just turn the energy on, man. And I always used to say to them, my problem is I can't turn it off. It's always on. And of course you can turn it on. Of course, you know, kind of we can all turn energy on. But I do this, I mean, and everyone there's this just phenomenal, electric, positive, loving, engaging, inspiring energy that's at a place like this, because ultimately everything that's there is love. You know, kind of everything and everyone is there because of love, because everyone believes in love. There's another one I used to say, you team, you have to believe, you know, but that's it. There's just beautiful love. And I'll share something that I've kind of been talking about recently, and this is what the event is for me. It is ultimately love. And at a time when everything seems lost and a lot of people are lost and everything has a cost, love can sort it all out. Love and good positive energy. That's what the Best You Expo is all about. And it's about inspiring people and getting together and really understanding and connecting and engaging on what brings us together. You know, there's just far too much division, far too much, you know, disputes, judgments, you know, kind of criticism, negativism, you know, everything that's going on around the world at the moment is simply not acceptable. And the way that we can knock it all down is by bringing this good positive energy and all of us coming together. That's what the Best You Expo is, and that's what we bring.
So again, if you're anywhere within 6,000 miles of Los Angeles Convention Center, March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you must be there. That's it. Bernardo, we have, unfortunately, our time is contracted at the moment, but I have 3 quick questions for you, sir. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1 question, will you come back again?
Absolutely.
Woo! Thank you. Number 2, you have only 80 seconds to answer this. What is your most fervent desire?
Yeah, to contribute to making the world a better place and to bringing more love at the forefront of all and every conversation that we all have on a daily basis.
That was only 22 seconds and it was wonderful. And now number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 368,922 people around the world?
Absolutely.
Okay, but let me tell you what HUG stands for. Ready? Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Because this is the joy of living. And by the way, everything you want to know about Bernardo and all the things that he's doing, just go to my website, www.whatawonderfulworld.barryshore.com, and all will be there. Go there and share this with at least 5 people so we touch over 1.5 million people around the world. This is necessary, transformative information for you, because this is what we talk about. Remember, the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, life, your life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, you go MAD. MAD stands for make a difference in the world. And the 3rd fundamental is to unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms like www, what a wonderful world, smile, seeing miracles in life every day, or as my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously. You'll benefit you, your family, your friends, and all living beings. And these 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks stands for to harmonize and network kindness, to harmonize and network kindness. The Dalai Lama is quoted saying, I read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. And he said, it's always possible. So we're going to have a blessing now from Bernardo and Barry. And that is for you, everybody. Remember, because this show is all about you becoming the best you and teaching the world to F you, capital N, capital N. So our blessing from Bernardo and Barry is go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Bernardo, don't go away.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.